On this episode of The Bender Hour.
But is my diaper covered in the poop? Just asking.
Just asking.
Yes, it is, Mr. American Psycho. He's there, he's like,
I want to say, wait, excuse me? It was a Stark Tower in that movie.
okay, fucking whatever. For sweating in the Baragon suit, and how it would smell. And like, wherever that guy is, I just want to say on record that he's a fucking freak.
She is so cute. I just want to lick those fucking armpits. I was just so horny when I recorded that video.
Yeah, like, you're so fucking stupid.
You look like a fucking retard, and I want to grab each side of your skull and push in.
And you deserve to be just as dead as your fucking dad.
Oh my god. I'm about to, like, walk away.
First bender that's, like, prematurely closed. How's that?
You're clapping like a second after I do.
I mean, is that really, like, that big of a deal?
It's a pretty big deal, to be honest, for me.
Just move it forward like a half second.
I'm gonna kick you from the podcast.
Great. Talking to yourself. You know, you think that'd even catch on as a concept? Like Schizo Podcast, where you just talk out loud?
They exist already.
That's a thing?
There are a few podcasts that's just a one-man crew.
But is he, like, talking with, like, the audience?
You're just talking out loud into nothing.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, you just, like, got something to say, like, getting off your chest for the audience. But I'm imagining, like, what if there was, like, an actual, like, Schizo podcast where you were pretending to talk to other people?
You were pretending to talk to another person?
Yeah, like, does that exist? And if
I don't think so.
You think that would, like, become big? I think it would have the chance to.
I think it would probably fit with the same crowd as like people who watch Eric Andre and stuff like that. It would just be like absurdist humor. Like, people would watch it for like that spectacle.
I think what we'd have to
do.
do.
I imagine it'd grow old pretty quick.
Well, it would grow old quick if you didn't have like a shtick to go along with it. I think once people like heard about it, like had a couple episodes, you'd have to start editing in very quiet noises that almost sounds like voices talking back at random intervals, like when you talk. Like a super quiet, like if you like put it back into some kind of recording software and like edited the output, you're like, yes. It starts like scaring the shit out of people. Just indulge in them. But I think Schizo Podcast is, I don't know what to talk about. I kind of wanted to like talk about, it's like really stupid because I was just thinking about it earlier today. I almost wanted to talk about Pacific Rim a little bit, the fucking movie.
Oh boy, it's gonna be something because I have probably seen that movie a collective of 2 times.
Oh, that's one more than me.
I said probably, yeah, it's not for sure.
That's still probably more than me, I'll say that. From what I remember, like the whole thing that they tried to explain was that dinosaurs in that world were like the fucking like monsters. That like the aliens just like put them down on Earth like tens of millions of years before humans. And then like later on they became like, did they still call them kaijus in that movie? What do they call them?
Yes, they did call them kaijus.
Yeah, and like that's like the explanation. Like I think it showed like a picture of like a stegosaurus or some part. Maybe like I'm like making that up. I don't even remember. And like, yeah, like they were here and now they're kaijus. They're just taking like their planet back.
Was that ever in the movie?
I think that was said. I think that was said almost verbatim.
I cannot even call you out if that's bullshit or not. I'm gonna be completely honest.
And I just remember that being so stupid. Because, okay.
Because dinosaurs weren't like the size of a fucking skyscraper.
No. And they don't look anything like the fucking kaiju. Like,
Yeah.
Basically how they, I think what the explanation was behind all of it was the aliens like put them there to get the Earth ready for their eventual takeover. Yeah, I guess it's like a 75 million year gambit.
Yeah.
But
And weren't some of them pretty like bug-like?
Yeah,
if I remember right.
they looked anything like any, like anything normal on Earth. They were
An actual dinosaur.
completely fucking alien looking.
Like, what's the explanation for like the like very early dinosaurs in the fossil record that are no bigger than like a fucking coyote?
Yeah.
Don't you dare say what I know you want to say.
I'm not gonna say it. I already held back earlier when I, accidentally said like getting kind of big. We don't need to open up that can of worms for the audience, not yet. But yeah, a dinosaur bit. And the one thing I almost wanted to talk about the most was, if that shit happened in real life, do you think our government would have a better, like collective governments of the world would actually have a better hand at dealing with the threat than they did in the movie?
Probably not. They probably just immediately launch nukes. Maybe not immediately, but once everything else failed. I don't think we have the technology to make fucking bipedal skyscraper-sized robots.
Okay, well, to be fair, if there's a crisis of that magnitude, our asses are gonna go into overdrive. I mean, look at the shit that was made in the tail end of World War II. Like, just kind of like out of thin air. I think it could be done. But that's not even like the biggest concern. Like, the reason why I'm thinking that our world would do better was because I think at the beginning of that movie, there's this whole scene where like the Australian government built, like, their idea was to build a wall.
Yeah.
To keep, like, it was this fucking like thin ass concrete wall,
huge fucking wall,
and then just it immediately gets busted through like butter.
Well, it's stupid too, because in the lore of the movie, they were like, oh, like the Australians built a wall and they haven't had any problems for like however many years the kaijus had been a problem.
Yeah, but that's not even
and then
fair.
it just happens to be during the movie that fucking like a kaiju shows up and destroys all of Australia.
Yeah, and it's not even fair too, because it's not even like they gave an example of the wall like having deterred the kaiju in the past. How can you say it's effective if like none of them even came? And of course, like, it's not gonna fucking work. You've seen these things destroy buildings that are like way thicker than the wall. Just such a stupid idea. Like, I don't even know if that idea would be like entertained in real life. I'd hope it wouldn't be.
Oh, maybe if they put like, guns on the wall. Maybe just put like a fucking battleship cannon, like several of them on the wall, something like that.
Yeah, I almost feel like they're doing modern weapons a little bit of a disservice in that movie. Like, the fucking end result to combat was make giant mech suits. Like, okay, I mean, that's cool and all. It's probably not at all what, like, even if we had the technology to do it, it probably wouldn't be at all how, like, our world would handle that threat. They'd probably come up with, like, a bioweapon, or they'd probably drop, like, precision bunker busters into these fucking things, like what they tried to do in Shin Godzilla. Except it would actually work, because they can't fucking shoot lasers out their back.
And I'm sure there's some throwaway line in the movie of them, like, having tried that or something.
If that's a throwaway line, then it's a straight-up lie. Because there's no way that can't work. Because as we remember, like, that movie had, like, a class system. And I think, like, what was the last class of kaiju, like, they killed? It was, like, a 7 or something, like, kind of high. It was, like, the only one they encountered, like, under the water, like, right before the whole, like, entering the other dimension with the nuke bit at the end. It was, like a class 7 or 8. And they killed it with a sword, like, almost instantly. Which is just embarrassing. And it's even more stupid, too, they didn't use that sword prior.
Big robot sword.
It was, but it still proves that, these things can be, like, sliced through. With, like, basic
Doesn't the sword
principles.
also have, like, Metal Gear Rising type technology of, like vibro sword?
I don't think it had that, but it did have, like, the stupid, like, Doc Ock interlinking, like, technology. It was kind of like a flexible sword.
A big whip.
Yeah, it was like a whip sword. And it just cleaned right through them.
Whip.
Because what other weapons did the Jaegers even have? I don't even remember. Like, they just wrestled, and they had, like, a sword. And I think, like, a couple of them had a gun. That didn't really do anything.
Didn't, like, the 3-armed Chinese one have, like, swords?
Didn't it have, like, a saw blade? Or am I making that up?
I don't know.
The fucking I think the Chinese guys did, like, die, didn't they?
Yes. I think every Jaeger pretty much gets destroyed in the movie except for, like, the main character.
Do you remember the name of the main Jaeger?
No.
I do. Gypsy Danger. I can't remember a single other
me.
one. It would just really be that easy. Just get a fucking B2, fly over this thing, drop like precision bunker busters, and just take them out. That thing would be dead in like 2 seconds. Or like a battleship cannon. I'm sure that would fuck one of those up.
Bring back the fucking Yamato cannon.
Yeah, because like I don't really remember all too much of like the conventional weapons they tried. I think I remember like maybe they shot it with tanks and like helicopter like bullets. Maybe like a small like Scud missile or something. But I don't think they even really tried any like major hardware. They just gave up. They gave all their funds to the stupid Thunderdome. They just make giant robots that all like died. I mean, it was still a good movie though, because it was a complete like fuck Xenos movie.
Yeah, humans will always win. Just a fact. And
it wasn't even that humans won, but we straight up obliterated the aliens with a nuclear weapon.
Although apparently not, because didn't they make a Pacific Rim 2?
If they did, I don't even recall hearing about it announced, released, or or any reception to it. So I can only assume that was like direct to DVD and was probably like a box office bomb. Because even though the movie was stupid, I mean, it was still like kind of entertaining.
Pacific Rim Uprising in 2018.
Like, what happens? The aliens come back like mutated and angrier.
I don't even want to like begin to know.
Honestly, what they should have done, and this is me not knowing the plot of that movie at all. I'm just assuming that like whatever I think of is better than what they did. What they should have done was have, if they're gonna go to the angle of making the aliens come back, have them deploy like mech suits of their own, and that should have been like the plot. Like you have to like, it's been a couple years. The humans had a better idea of how to make Jaegers. They learned from the experiences, but now like the aliens show up and start like pushing their shit in.
What do they even still have Jaegers? When did they get rid of them once the threat was gone?
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know. I'm sure like they would keep a couple. Like it would be like a real, it would be turned into like a fucking museum ship, like the USS Iowa or something. You keep one in like New York City, like for people to like pay money to look at.
Looking at screenshots from Pacific Rim 2, and it looks worse. Like it has worse effects on the first one.
Great. Just didn't even try. That's probably why no one
like
talks about it.
Though, you mentioned the ending of the movie where they obliterate the kaiju home dimension with nukes. I just want to go on a little tangent here and just say, like, I absolutely fucking, like, despise that. Because it's such, like, a common thing in movies where it's like, oh, like, we have, like, this, like, either, like, extra-dimensional, like, intergalactic threat. Like, how do we win? Oh, like, the fucking heroes drive a nuke into their home world. Or, like, into their fleet or something like that. They did in Pacific Rim. They did in, like, the first Avengers movie. Which is, like, especially bad because nukes don't explode like that in space and it's just fucking, like, stupid.
Yes, and the Avengers, I remember the ending to the Avengers, like, that whole battle was just, like, so bad. Like, looking back at it, because...
It wasn't that bad.
Well, okay, this is, like, in my eyes, like, the enemies they were fighting, you couldn't fucking tell what they looked like, because everything's moving too fast. They kind of just come out of nowhere, you don't really know what they are. And
there's a few up-close scenes with them.
Like, a few, but you never really get, like, a full shot of these things. It's kind of like in not District 9. What was the name of like that other movie where like the modern US military has to like fight fucking aliens that invade?
There's too many to fucking count. Are you talking about Battleship?
No, not Battleship.
The famous Battleship movie?
Not fucking Battleship. It was like Battle for LA, something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was like that.
I never saw that movie.
I haven't seen that movie in its entirety, but that movie just really blue-balled you on like seeing what the aliens look like. If you look it up, like what the aliens look like, you probably won't see a single shot from the movie. You'll probably see a concept art. That's the only way to see what they like, because it was like blurry and moving fast as shit. And that's kind of how I felt about the Avengers fight. You know, it's just all these dumb idiot like orc-looking aliens with like swords and stupid guns. They all get obliterated, and then like nothing really happens. New York honestly survives completely unscathed when there's gigantic, like 100-ton alien worms flying around. They didn't really do that much damage. There was like a couple broken cars. Like 9/11 did more damage.
They fly through a few buildings, like the stupid giant worm from Transformers.
Yes.
Which I think came out around the same time now that I think about it. It must have just been a year of worms fucking going through buildings.
But, you know, once again, the damage was like hardly noticeable. Yeah, it's like really stupid to have to keep bringing up 9/11, but look at like what one, you know, like, well, I guess technically what 3 towers collapsing did to that whole area. It was like nothing. The city was covered in smoke for fucking weeks. That shit, like, and a whole tower comes down in that movie, and like nothing. It's like a clean, sunny day. You see like 10 people run for their lives. Wouldn't be too fun of a
movie of fucking like Captain America just in like a fucking dust cloud, and you can't tell what's going on. He's like starting to have problems breathing.
I mean, to be fair,
he didn't bring his M95 mask, so he's like inhaling particulates.
Oh, to be fair though, that would probably add to like the tension of the scene. Like, you know, he'd be like
fighting, he's like getting asbestos poisoning and like trying to fight off an alien invasion.
It would be like he's fighting, like it collapses. He's like, oh no, and like the smoke fucking, you know, envelops all of them. Iron Man flies up. He's like, I'm gonna see what I can do. And like, he flies up out of the smoke and like the dust.
The city.
He leaves. You know, Captain America, he's like coughing and trying to fight the aliens. They keep like jumping in and out of the smoke, like in and out of view, like kind of like beating him up. And then, you know, they'd have to like do something like stupid. Like Thor would be like, "Oh, I can do this," and he pulls like a giant like fan out of his pocket or something and blows all the smoke
couldn't
away.
He just like fucking whip his hammer around and like blow all the smoke away?
Yeah.
He just waits like for Captain America to get his ass beat a few times before he does it.
I think what they'd have to do to make it even dumber is it'd have to be like the Hulk that stops it. Like he inhales and then he like blows it all away.
What if he just did a clap and just like push it all away too?
Yeah,
like, there's actually a lot of solutions to this problem.
Yeah. But even then, like, that's just like one issue. There really weren't that many people that I recall like evacuating. Like New York City's got what, like 9 million fucking people in it. This is an alien invasion, and they had like maybe like 20 extras tops running around like the streets.
Oh, granted, that movie came out in 2012, so there was maybe like 300 people in New York City at the time.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Including the Avengers.
I forgot about that. Just that one-off year. Lost 99% of its population overnight.
They came back the next year.
You know,
but they had advanced warning about the alien Thanos invasion.
Okay, imagine this. Iron Man goes to like fucking like what was it, like the Avengers Tower at the end to like meet Loki. He's there. He's like,
excuse me. It was a Stark Tower in that movie.
Okay, fucking whatever. He's in there, and you know he takes off all this shit. He like gets a drink, and Loki shows up, and they're having their chat, and then like that giant fucking worm goes through that building, like right to the bottom floor too. You think Loki would die?
And he'd probably like jump out the window. Like, what's he got to lose? Like jumping out the window. He's like a god.
I don't know. I mean, can anything kill him?
Thanos.
I guess. I mean, that's fair. But is it possible for any like mortal cause to like kill Loki? Like, if he got shot in the head by like a gun and he didn't deflect it, like would that kill him?
He's bulletproof.
But is he like 100,000-ton building proof?
I don't know. I mean, the Hulk survived a fucking like building falling on him. I think Loki's got a pretty good chance. Now Stark's just gotta hope like his suit can still like catch him.
I don't know about that. Because like he'd be jostled.
He's like a fucking 9/11 jumper.
The problem here is that he didn't get to jump in time. The building's already collapsing. He's probably in shock. And he can't even get his footing.
He loses his cool.
Yeah, because like he can't even get to the window to jump because like the floor's giving out. He's falling already. He'd be calling the suit, and then he's just like pieces of glass and I-beams are hitting him, and he'd be dead before it even has the chance to call for it.
What a good plan.
But try to go back a little bit.
We have a Hulk. I have a worm.
Oh my God, Stark's dead.
Why'd he take his suit off to begin with?
Like, the Hulk and Loki just get out of the rubble completely fine. Stark is mangled under the rubble.
He's never recovered.
They fucking like deep fake scenes from 9/11 of like firefighters entering the rubble to save people, and they completely just in a horrible act. They deep fake one of like the dead bodies as Stark.
Why?
Just to make it like seem more like relatable and realistic. And also, they still bring his dead body into the shawarma shop at the end.
Is this supposed to be like in the context of the movie, or is this like scenes in the movie?
What are you asking?
Because
here?
is this like is this like a news report like in that universe of like showing this footage, or is this like the footage that plays during the movie?
No, this is like really playing during the movie. Like they pass it off as if this is like happening right now. It's like all the Avengers are sad. Like Hulk is like, he like sheds a big tear and like wipes it away.
I guess they just completely forgot about the fucking alien invasion.
Yeah,
They're like already at his funeral, like just completely skipped over that.
he was the only one that like could stop it. Even though Thor can fly. Like, did they really need Iron Man for that? Was he really the only one that could do that?
I think so. I mean, no one else fucking did it.
I remember what Thor did.
Thor.
Exactly.
I
remember Captain America fighting like on the fucking cars on the street. I remember Hulk doing his stupid shit, blowing shit up and fucking over Loki. I even remember Hawkeye like shooting people on the rooftops. I don't remember Black Widow. I don't remember Thor.
Like, Black Widow is like with Captain America pretty much the whole fight. And I can't remember what the fuck Thor was doing the whole time.
He just bailed. Like these are aliens with advanced like laser guns and shit. But wasn't like Black Widow armed with like a fucking Glock?
Yeah, and like a taser.
So bad.
I mean, fucking Hawkeye just has a bow and arrow.
Yeah, but at least that thing has like explosive tips. So it like kind of works. Yeah, it's kind of like a fucking like Wookiee bowcaster or something. Like it keeps him in the fight. But if I were to deviate a little from Avengers and go back, you mentioned how delivering a nuke into an alien homeworld is so prevalent, but like name just like one other movie.
I'm sure there's more examples. I just can't think of any right now. It's like the first two that come to mind.
So as it stands, besides Pacific Rim, there's only one movie that uses this so-called overused
that I can
trope.
remember. That I can remember. Little fucking weasel.
Why'd you bring it up in the first place if like you didn't know about others?
Because I know that there's others.
You know that like for a fact?
Yeah. Are you trying to tell me that it's not like a prevalent thing?
I mean,
like sending a fucking nuke through a portal to like an alien like fleet or homeworld or something along those lines, and like stopping the invasion.
I mean, it's a little unfair to ask that because I feel like that kind of trope in general, like no nuke, like if we were talking like something as basic as, you know, launching the fucking proton torpedo into the Death Star, like as that overall archetype of an ending, then like yeah, there's plenty of them. But specifically entering another dimension with a nuke, as far as I know, is only like in Avengers
and Pacific Rim.
Yeah, Pacific Rim. That's it. Did Pacific Rim do it first? I forgot like when that movie came out, honestly.
I think it came out after, to be honest.
I just remember Obama was in that movie.
We gotta kill these fucking kaijus.
I think what they did at the beginning of it was they had like a bunch of like kind of related politicians like saying generic things about like fighting a greater threat. But they should have like deepfaked Obama to saying something like, "Yeah, we gotta build the fucking Jaeger." They probably would have had to like pay Obama though. Actually, you think they paid Obama to like have him featured, or since he's like a public official, you're just like allowed to feature him?
I mean, why wouldn't more movies like have actual sitting presidents in them? They might have had to pay him fucking royalties.
Because it's probably not always. How many movies like would need a president in them?
A lot. How many movies are about like an existential threat to the nation?
I guess a lot. I don't know. But if that's the case, then they must have paid royalties to a lot of fucking people. Because would you have to pay? Because I think they showed like Angela Merkel and like some European leaders. You think they have to pay them? Or does that not apply since they're like not in the U.S.? I don't even know.
Probably would have had to pay them. I don't think you could just use like a fucking foreign person's face in your movie and like not have to like do anything about it.
I don't know how much they paid for that 2-second clip of Obama. Yeah, that's why the second movie is so shit. Like they went into the red.
Yeah. They're still paying off Obama.
Still paying him off. You worked on like $100 million per second basis. Yeah, he basically gave like an ultimatum. He's like, I'm willing to drop the fee if I'm the main character. Like, we already signed on these guys. Like, we can't fit you in.
Still sitting president.
It's like we already acted out all the scenes.
At the time the movie was made.
Yeah, it's like all the scenes already finished. Like, we can't do that. Okay. Enjoy your bill, dickhead. They received the check later on. Like, we're fucked. How are we gonna drop this? How are we gonna release the sequel? Direct to DVD. It's like, tell all other extra dimensional nuke launching movies, aka 1, what happened here. Maybe Avengers should have like shown Obama.
I think Pacific Rim should just replace Obama with Epic Mealtime.
What if they replaced him with like Trump?
Like retroactively.
Yeah, like they did it then. Like they just showed Trump. Like they actually had somehow future footage of Trump like giving a press conference like from the White House. You think people would have like been like kind of scared?
Why would they even need future footage? Why not just like have Trump like on like a fucking set?
Well, it's because it'd be way scared to believe that they just have it. Like how many people you think would like know? Like they'd be confused watching that, but they'd probably forget about it because there's like a 2-second bit from the beginning. But there'd be people asking questions like, "What was with that scene from like Trump?" Like we asked him questions like, "I did not participate in that."
I had no idea. They didn't even pay me for that.
That'd be even like
they didn't even tell me they were doing that.
That would honestly warrant probably a bigger reaction from the government than if like kaiju showed up. Like there's just
fucking
proof
Guillermo
of
del
time
Toro
travel.
has time travel. We already talked about fucking time travel. And, like the reaction to it.
Well, that was with the like the cavemen, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of like a whole different spiel because this is like affecting modern people looking into the future. Not like sending primitive people like to like 100 years prior. Epic mealtime.
We also talked about sending a fucking like a bow back and like uncovering that in the modern day.
I almost forgot about that. Get the compound bow. Fucking zombie, just scaring the shit out of people. We do like that.
We're big fans of that.
We're huge fans of scaring you, and I think once I get my Jaeger with the orange hair and the little hands, I think we're gonna kill these guys. You're pretty good. Also, don't forget those people have the balls to say that Godzilla will be considered like a tier 10 kaiju, when that was only like 3 ahead of the one that got killed by a sword in one shot. Fucking embarrassing. Honestly, I almost would like to see. Like, I feel like the only way you could revive Pacific Rim as a franchise would be if like you got Toho on board and had like Mechagodzilla fight them. Mechagodzilla would probably
fight
fucking
the
win.
kaiju.
No, like the Jaegers.
Oh.
I think Mechagodzilla would win pretty fucking handily.
Probably.
Like in his first appearance, he almost
Jaegers never had to fight like other robots.
No, in Mechagodzilla's first appearance, he literally almost won a fucking 2v1. That was King Caesar and Godzilla both against him, and he almost killed them both. It's literally only because Godzilla cheated that Godzilla won.
Throwing King Caesar into that mix is like hardly saying anything, though. He's only ever been in one movie where he gets his ass beat.
That's not true. He was in 2. He was in Tokyo SOS.
Oh, wow.
Where he also got his
probably
ass
with
beat.
Fucking like stock footage.
No, they did actually bring it. Like I think they actually did have the suit. He jump kicks Anguirus, who's like a ball. He fucking like soccer kicks him at Godzilla.
Fucking asshole.
Because the whole thing is like all the monsters are like against Godzilla in that movie because like they're being hypnotized. Very stupid. I mean, King
Caesar's a pretty cool design, but he's just been completely fucking worthless since his debut.
Okay, but to be completely fair, he got fucked up just as bad as Godzilla. Like, I have seen that whole movie, and Godzilla got the shit blasted out of him. He actually lost the first encounter with him.
Yeah, I know that.
He damn near lost the second. He was on the ground bleeding. King Caesar was hiding behind a rock and then thrown into a pit. They couldn't touch him. He was firing fucking everything at both of them. They couldn't get near him. There's like this hysterical scene where the two of them are cowering, like basically holding each other. Like Caesar and Godzilla. Like while they're getting pelted with lasers. They can't even do anything.
It's pretty stupid to just imagine, because I know like the lead up to King Caesar in that movie, it takes like a while, and it's like it's such like a build up to get to him, and it's like all this hype of like getting this back up so Godzilla can beat Mechagodzilla, and then King Caesar shows up and does fucking nothing.
He does no better than Godzilla. Yeah, they hype him at the beginning.
Like he shows up to help and provides no help at all.
He has exactly one scene where he successfully redeflects the beam back at Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like his special ability too. Just like absorbing energy and redirecting it, and he doesn't use it.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think too, because Mechagodzilla is like the perfect enemy to fight if that's your ability. All he does is fire beams and like rockets. It's fucking horrible. I don't even think Godzilla did that bad when he fought a 2v1 where he had to fight Titanosaurus and Godzilla. He really got his ass beat. He got saved by a complete ass pull in that first movie. Because apparently getting struck by lightning makes him magnetic. Which is just so dumb.
I mean, fucking King Kong getting struck by lightning turns him into a fucking giant. So,
well, it didn't make him a giant, did it? It just made him stronger.
Something like that.
Well, that's because, I mean, I'm sure you know
He's
this
supposed to be
too.
fucking
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
It's like, thank you, fucking Godzilla-thon.
Just imagine living in that horrible universe where it was Godzilla versus Frankenstein.
I mean, I guess it would have done really good in Germany. It probably would have been like a novelty too in like the US. I mean, it's a fucking Godzilla
Probably
movie.
remembered as one of the worst fucking movies ever made.
Would it really be that
Do you imagine
bad?
how like disorienting it would be to see Godzilla fighting a fucking human?
I mean, it's not like the King Kong suit was especially good at hiding like the fact that there was a fucking man in it.
Yeah, but like it still isn't just straight up a person. Like Frankenstein is just a human.
Well, that's the thing. It wouldn't have been like the generic green Frankenstein from what I've heard. It was supposed to be a new monster.
Super Frankenstein from the NES game. He's wearing the fucking Speedo.
Yeah, this Frankenstein's cool. No, it was supposed to be a new monster made by Dr. Frankenstein that would have been like a disgusting monster made out of like various animal parts. So it wouldn't even have been of like the original monster, apparently.
Are you sure about that?
I think that's the case.
Wasn't there that other Toho movie that was based off of Frankenstein where it's like the two like twin
the War of the
things?
Gargantuans.
Yeah.
Yes, they did do that.
And those were just big people. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that was supposed to be like based off of what they had for Frankenstein, if I remember right.
I'm sure it is. Like, maybe that is the plan after all. I just remember reading about that. So maybe that was a plan for like a different movie that they were going to shoehorn Frankenstein into. But I don't think it would have been that bad.
The Frankenstein is not the name of the monster. It's the name of the doctor.
I mean, honestly, having like read that book, it's just the depiction of Frankenstein so stupid to me. The fact that he's basically
That
just
he's like a child.
well, yeah, I guess in some case like he's a child, but also the fact that they kind of treat him like that original Hulk movie where he could just jump great distances. Which I always thought was really stupid. Like, if you want to make him like kind of like a superhuman, like that's fine. But I think adding the jump is like pushing it over the limit.
Is that a thing?
I remember reading that in the book, that he was able to bound great distances, and like that's how you travel.
Leap a building in a single bound.
Yeah.
Fucking Superman.
Jumps away. But I don't think a Frankenstein vs. Godzilla movie would be that bad. I mean, it would be campy. It'd be really stupid. But I don't think it'd be as bad as you're claiming it would be.
I think it would be fucking horrible.
I mean, Godzilla vs. King Kong was already like laughable when it came out. Like, people joked at how bad the fucking King Kong suit was. Would it have been much worse if it was Frankenstein getting dropped into a fucking island via helicopters? It would make more sense when he's struck by lightning.
I think so. Just because, once again, it's just a straight up person, like, no suit, fighting Godzilla. Like, those movies already have huge problems in showing Godzilla's scale because they don't film from, like, low angles or really, like, do any of the filmography right. So once you just put a person next to the Godzilla suit, like, any sense of scale and scope is just immediately out the window.
Okay, now, where does the line end? Because, like, what about Jet Jaguar?
Jet Jaguar is a big robot.
That's true, but he is distinctly humanoid. To the point where
he's
he's
still a robot.
That's true.
And he's changed his size, so you get to see him when he's small, and then he grows big.
Yeah, like
you see that happen.
Yeah, and I mean, do you remember, like, how stupid that effect is? You think it would have been
really.
It's like really dumb. He like flashes, and then like they badly like superimpose him getting bigger. They would have done the same thing to Frankenstein. So I don't think that's like much of an excuse.
But he's still also a robot.
Okay.
That's the main thing that you're forgetting here.
But now you mentioned that the War of the Gargantuan thing. I mean, does that not handle the scale? Like, they're still on like a miniature set.
I've never seen that movie, so.
I mean, they're still on a miniature set, so you can, you know, it's not filmed as well as, you know, like the good Godzilla movies do, like the low angles and shit. But that's how they handled it. It would have. I feel like it would have gotten maybe just slightly less favorable reviews and reception than King Kong, just because like it's not as a well. I mean, it's a well-known monster. It just probably not the matchup people would be expecting. Because it's not even our monster. It's fucking like Germany's. We only know about it just because Frankenstein's like a popular horror creature. Put into the least horrifying instance you could fathom. It would be like a dumber monster to like put Godzilla up against.
A dumber monster?
Yeah.
Like fucking like Dracula.
Dracula versus Godzilla.
You're talking about like traditional monsters for Godzilla to go up against.
I think that was actually a failed plot that was like supposed to be done at Toho at some point. That like Dracula's castle would appear, but they just like never got past the fucking script. It's like it got shelved.
I think you're just talking about Castlevania at this point.
I think that was a real thing that was like mentioned.
Fucking Dracula's castle rising from Mount Fuji during a solar eclipse.
I do remember that bit, but I think that was something that was actually like mentioned, and this like, never got any further than the fucking drawing board.
Yeah, I wonder why.
You know, they'll do all this stupid shit they won't add in fucking Bacon, or however you pronounce them. So sad. And they won't even return and make another Godzilla movie. You know, they were at a point where they were making Godzilla movies like once a year, like in the 90s. And now where are they at? Like this time, like Shin Godzilla 2 better be like the greatest fucking movie on Earth with the amount of time it's been.
I think they're making a Shin Godzilla 2, which honestly is probably for the best, because I don't know where that could even go. Especially considering the things growing from Godzilla's tail don't even look like Godzilla anymore.
Yeah, but I feel like you can't end a movie like that without like having a plan for a sequel. But maybe they will.
Probably did have a plan for a sequel, but it was also made by the dude who made fucking, I think Evangelion. I think it's the same guy. And Evangelion sucks dick, so kind of like Godzilla.
Godzilla sucks dick.
Godzilla sucks dick.
Did you just say Godzilla sucks dick? Yeah.
James Rolfe, that's exactly what I said.
What the fuck? It's like Donkey playing Gex. Like, I gotta stop watching this movie. Honestly, I gotta like see more Godzilla movies. I've watched all the ones that are available on YouTube, including the one that has Batra in it, which honestly is not that good.
Batra was the dragonfly looking thing.
No,
right?
that was Megagyrus. This was like the evil Mothra. Remember that?
Kind of.
If like the whole deal was that, you know, Mothra protects the Earth, and then Batra like comes in to like fuck over humanity.
This fucking guy. Okay, I remember this guy.
That I did watch that movie, and it honestly kind of sucked because Godzilla was like an afterthought. The movie was completely focused on Mothra and Batra, and like they're like no fun. Like Mothra always kind of sucked, and Batra's just like a black version.
Mothra movie.
Yeah.
Where Godzilla loses to the fucking caterpillar version.
Pathetic. Mothra sucks. That's all there is to it. When you pick Mothra, the game fucking laughs.
At least Legendary did Mothra kind of good in the fucking, the new movie.
Didn't she die?
Yeah.
Owned. It's a fate that all Mothra fans fucking deserve. Mothra fucking sucks.
Yeah, your place in hell is just having to constantly marathon all of the fucking Mothra movies.
Like the specific Mothra ones?
Yeah, like the like Mothra had her
yeah,
own
like her own like
series
spin-off
of
series. That's what I was mentioning. And you know, like I guess the whole thing was to appeal to women. Like it was real like Miss Pac-Man shit. But why did like no one else get like a spin-off series? I guess like Rodan's like
Rodan had his own spin-off series.
Did he? I was about to say like he's probably like too boring for one.
Yeah, well, I think he actually had his own movie before
Yes,
he was
he did.
in Godzilla.
But honestly, I feel
And then
like
I do think he had his own movies even after that.
even though he's the villain, I feel like King Ghidorah should have had like his own spin-off because he's obviously the more like interesting creature. It's probably just too expensive to film with him though.
Yeah.
Like, because I've like looked into, like I've actually like seen videos that explain all the processes that it took to do a lot of that shit, and it was just horrible. Having to get like 3 people to operate the heads, suspending them from the air with wires. And there was like the time when like the wires snapped and this like 400-pound suit fucking planted into the water. The guy broke like his ribs, almost drowned. And then just being in the suit.
Imagine just applying that by fucking like 10 with Biollante.
Yeah. But
imagine all the coordination it took to get that to work.
Yes.
Especially when Biollante starts fucking running.
Yeah, I've seen that like scene when it was being like made. I saw like a video of that. It took so many wires to make that look good. And that was like a good looking scene. It was a complete miracle of puppet work. They should have brought Biollante back. I always thought like that was kind of cool kaiju.
They should have. Biollante is one of the cooler ones.
Just don't get shit. Like Mechagodzilla is definitely like the fucking worst. I think Mechagodzilla might be worse than Mothra. Such an awful monster. Megalon's definitely like up there on the good side though. Even though he actually only gets like 1 appearance. Like even King Caesar made a 2nd appearance. Megalon doesn't get shit.
Megalon was pretty cool, but he isn't also in that good ass Game Boy game.
Yeah, he was in a lot of games.
Bombs. So.
I'm pretty sure he was in all of the like the 3D fighting games too. Just unfair. I mean, he's got a lot. If he could fly, he's got drill hands, could spit bombs. No, you just throw him away. Nicely, enough's been said about Gigan. Bastard can't catch a break.
Gigan is one of like the fucking worst.
Don't want to hear it.
I hate Gigan.
What about Orga?
Orga was cool.
I feel like Orga didn't really get enough time to do anything cool. Like it showed up, brawled with Godzilla with its big stupid fucking lunchbox hands, and then just dies when it tries to eat him.
Yeah, but that scene where he opens his mouth is pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like if his hands weren't so big, he would have looked better. Because when he moves his hands around, which like his fingers aren't even like articulated, it looks so goofy. He's like whacks Godzilla with his big mitts. So yeah, Mechagodzilla is like in the bottom rung. Either make like a Godzilla like tier list like of monsters.
S++ tier is Gabra.
Okay.
He's the only one up there.
Okay, and like S+ is Bagan. He's up there. Which Godzilla you'd say would go up there? I'd say like 80s Godzilla.
I will always be partial to Godzilla 2000's design.
That's fair. Okay, I'll put like 80s Godzilla and Godzilla 2000 there. What a Mecha King Ghidorah.
I don't know. I never really cared for Mecha King Ghidorah. I mean, he does beat Godzilla's ass.
Yeah, and he's got that cool fucking machine hand.
That comes out of his chest.
Yeah, locks him in place and like tethers him with wires. Like they fucked him up good.
Other than that, he really doesn't do anything. Not that he doesn't do anything, but he's not really like too different from Ghidorah himself.
He's
just Ghidorah with like a metal chest piece and like a robot head.
Honestly, like instead of doing the whole contrived plot of like launching another nuke and making another Godzilla, they should have just made like an android Godzilla to fight Ghidorah. They just make it even more ridiculous. I think that was definitely like a missed fucking concept.
Godzilla's not even in his own movie.
Well, he's in the movie. It's just like when he dies to like Ghidorah and King Ghidorah, like Mecha King Ghidorah shows up, they should have revived Godzilla by like doing the same shit that they did to like Ghidorah. Make him like a Mecha King Godzilla or something crazy. Like it wouldn't be like a Mechagodzilla, but I guess you can call it. Be like more of like an android. Jet Jaguar's up there.
Yeah, he's either S plus or just S tier.
Yeah.
You always have to respect a true hero.
You do. I mean, he's one of the few monsters that's able to instantly get Godzilla's approval without any fighting. You know, I've been a controversial one. Where would you put Anguirus?
That's a hard one.
Because I would argue
Anguirus is one of the OGs, and he's also a longtime ally of Godzilla.
Yes, but I would argue he gets his ass kicked more than Gigan.
Yeah, I don't think Anguirus has ever won a fight.
No.
Like, ever. I don't think...
So with that in mind, would that, like, lower his standing?
I'd say no
does
lower
it-
than, like, B.
Does he get A for Anguirus?
Yeah, either A or B. He definitely doesn't go lower than B, though.
Okay,
He does suck, but he looks cool, and he's an OG. He literally is the second monster ever, so...
Alright, what about another controversial one for completely different reasons? Baragon.
A Baragon is, like, fucking F.
I mean, is Baragon F?
What the fuck is Baragon? Baragon is just a shittier version of Anguirus.
That's true. But what about the actors?
Don't even say it. Yeah, don't. Can you imagine how sweaty it must have been in that suit?
Yeah, you know, I don't want to name names, but I need to, like, mention that there is a guy that refused Godzilla movies, and he had to go on this disgusting fucking rant about how much, like, he was, like, frothing at the mouth over the idea of, like, that actress sweating in the Baragon suit and how it would smell. And, like, wherever that guy is, I just want to say on record that he's a fucking freak. And that you should be, like, nowhere near a working microphone. Or near, like, women.
He would, like, just straight up say, like, I'd love to put my nose in there.
I don't think he said that, but he came pretty damn close. Like, he mentioned how it would smell, I believe, from the sweat inside the suit. And there's another guy, who I will not name, who does the exact same thing. He was a lot more rational in his reviews. But once again, when it got to the fucking episode, when it got to the movie that had Baragon in it, he had to go on his own little rant. He didn't go as far as that guy did, but he's like, you know, this actress is like, you know, we have to protect her at all costs. And I just, like, stopped watching. Because that is so fucking stupid. If someone talks like that, you know, you gotta get like, you know, the smog monster's diabolical diarrhea all over your face. That is unacceptable behavior.
She is so cute. I just want to lick those
You know,
fucking armpits.
I'd almost have to put, like, that what that guy said below the other guy, because at least his disgusting comment is, like, funny, even though he was 100% unironic about it. Like, I could almost appreciate how fucking direct he was in saying that to the world. Like, he thought to himself, like, that's good. I'll put that out there. I'm not gonna...
Yeah, I will record myself saying that, put it in the first draft of the video, and then keep it and upload it for the whole world to see.
And this was not a situation where the guy, like, played it off as a joke. This was said
No,
in
he
total
was
confidence.
100% serious about
Did I
that.
ever send that to you, that video?
Yes, you have shown me that video.
Okay, good. You know, too.
Yeah.
Like,
He was not joking. It's, like, up there with the fucking, like the hottest Sonic character tier list video.
yeah. Like, it's so disgusting that like, nobody can just get away with doing this shit normally. Like, it almost makes me want to, like, watch the movies and, like, give, like, an actual non-retarded review. Just so I can get to that part. And then completely, like, you know, fucking sink the ship. Would I ignore it? Or do I completely sink the ship and just go, like, balls to the wall
This
talking about the
bitch is
nastiest
fucking
shit.
ugly.
I like fucking get like an AI picture on the screen of like her feet. Like Photoshop her in like sexual positions. Completely
She must be hunted down at all costs.
If I can wear the skin suit of the actress of Baragon, I could die a happy man. I wonder what her breath smells like just when she dies. Get psychopath like Godzilla reviews.
I wonder what her blood tastes like.
Hearing the final gasp of air right before she dies would be so cathartic to me.
I'd love to drop her in a big fucking pool in her Baragon suit. Watch her slowly suffocate.
I'd love to drop her to a ball pit filled with hypodermic needles. Watch her squirm.
I'd love to pour molten aluminum in the suit while she's wearing it.
Get a cast of her naked body. Yeah, like most sane Godzilla reviewer. It's sad because that really does leave like James as the only person that I'm aware of, like as a big YouTuber, that has reviewed the entire Godzilla series and didn't mention anything about like the woman. Because these two guys, if I recall,
how she smells.
Yeah, because these two guys, I recall, like kind of like had like big followings, like pretty big subscriber bases, and that's just like what they got to use it for.
When you're in that position of power, you have nothing to fear.
I guess so. I don't think any like one of us could do that unironically. There's no way. Like it would all be like, no matter how hard we try to like cover it, it'd still sound like a joke.
Yeah, I feel like that would be what we would do, is say some out-of-pocket shit like that because it's funny, and not because we're actually like thirsting over this picture of a woman from like fucking 40 years ago and wondering how her fucking sweat smells.
Psychopaths roam the earth. Really is no end. I mean, the people like that just have zero impulse control. They're the same types who they see like any fucking sexual image online, and they gotta say like sauce or like source. They have to see the porn of it that second. Like, I really wonder how those people like get on day by day. Like, are they just lucky? Like, if they were left to their own devices, would they survive? This is actually something in particular I mentioned with my brother the other day, where we, I mean, completely unrelated, but just like the main point that I brought up was, like, are there just people out there that are basically like Master Chief, for their superpowers that they're lucky, and that in any normal scenario they'd be dead in a day? There'd definitely be someone like that, this unnamed, ambiguous Godzilla movie reviewer and company.
And these two ambiguous Godzilla movie reviewers.
You know, that I just so happen to quote almost verbatim.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will find out. Maybe one day if we like hit the big shot, you know, there'll be like a comment it's like, hey, hey, ambiguous Godzilla reviewer, the Bender Hour called you out for being a fucking creep. And then I'd want to have this guy. Honestly, that'd be like the biggest fucking like news for us. That'd be hysterical if we got into like a drama battle with one of these guys.
Fucking not angry, fucking Baragon Sweat Man.
Yeah, that's what we'd have to call him. Like in any instance, we'd call him the Baragon Sweat Enjoyer.
Yeah, but that's like too close to like the fucking like Chad thing, so we'd have to call him like the Baragon Sweat Fan.
Yeah, the Baragon Sweat Fetishist. So you'd have to make it. Or maybe just like the Baragon Creep. I think I like that. Like the Sweat Creep. The Baragon Sweat Creep.
The Baragon Bandit.
Yeah, he'd make like a reply video in like 2024. Like replying to the Bender Hour about my sweat comment from like 4 years ago.
Dude, not 4 years. In 2024, dude, it would be like probably like 6.
Yeah, I don't
Probably
remember,
more than that, to be honest.
I don't remember like when that guy uploaded that video, so just like pulling a number out of my ass.
He must be made to feel shame for what he said.
Dude, I'd fucking love to have like a 2v1 where we argue with this guy in a back and forth. Now, like we mentioned in the beginning that like we wouldn't ever want to like make drama our thing, but I think we were talking specifically about like commenting on drama. Like we're fucking like like Critical or what's his fucking name, Keemstar or something like that. But if we were actually the ones engaged in the drama, like a real shit fling, that's completely not only one-sided for us, but also like we're in the moral right.
We're in the moral right, but also these people have no idea like who they're picking a fight with.
That'd be I think that'd be the biggest boon to our fucking channel.
They've never been in a 2-on-1 argument with us.
No.
When we are on the same side of a point, it is impossible to get around us.
That is like a synergy. He'd already be picking a fight with like it would already be like choosing a 2v1. And I don't even know what he would say, like trying to theorize how he'd defend himself in the situation where he made the wrong choice to actually engage with us instead of just ignoring it, trying to bury the comment. I feel like if he had the balls to say that in public, he'd probably have the balls to defend it too. And I can't imagine what he'd say. I'd almost need to like get like a chat GPT going to like theorize this, like plan around this.
Well, I was just so horny when I recorded that video.
Just like hearing her roar in those outtakes, it made my cock so hard. and just the thought of purchasing her sweat from an online provider so I could fund what I love, Toho and sweaty women, makes me so happy.
Why is he turning into chills?
I don't know. It's kind of how he sounded when he did that.
Top 15.
Top 15, Kaiju Girl Sweat. Baragon. Thanks for watching. I think that might be the only like female suit actress. And we're letting this other guy off scot clean too, like the other guy I mentioned.
Listen to her Baragon roar.
We need to protect
her at all costs.
Like that's someone who's still saying like Chonky boy.
What a heckin' chonk.
It's like, what a chunky boy.
What a sexy chunky boy.
It's time to finally put
Top
this...
15 sexy chunky boys.
It's finally time to put this one on the fucking record. If you are somebody, and I don't even care. If we got 1 billion fucking subscribers overnight, I would say this wholeheartedly. If you're somebody that says chonker, doggo, like cat with like this, like floppa, and I'm saying like cat, like how they fucking spell it, like the Katte.
You deserve to have fucking Japanese like thumbnail torture.
Yeah, like you're so fucking
rest
stupid.
of eternity.
And that's not even like all of it too. Like that's like the generic shit. If you're someone, like if you're like a conservative leaning person, you see like Fren, and you post like fucking like the stupid like autistic Pepes, like you're in that same camp. Like that's not funny.
His name is Appreciation. His name is Appreciation. Can you believe this guy?
I forgot like his name.
Can you believe this guy? He doesn't know who Appreciation is.
Yeah, I feel like that's in the same camp because that shit's not funny. Like Floppa, like that Pepe, Saga. Like
whenever I think of Flop, I can only think of the fucking like Fainter video, which just fills me with such rage. It makes me so fucking mad seeing that video. You cannot understand.
I kind of do.
I'm talking about the viewer here.
Okay, in that case, they will never understand. Because that, unfortunately, like the people that fall into the camp of using that terminology, like I'd say it's almost as prevalent as like internet shorthand was back in like the early 2000s when like every single person typed like instead of UR it'd be like the letters U and R, like those types of people. Like you remember when that was huge, when like everyone typed in fucking like text shorthand?
Yeah.
But then like iPhones came out and it actually just became like easier to type things normally. So you don't really see that anymore. Like people
that old typing style was just like it was useful because of like the shitty way you had to like text.
Yes. Like,
With,
that's
like,
understandable.
Pressing of the numbers, like there was a reason for it. But when you say fucking big floppa or heckin' chonk online, you look like a fucking retard, and I want to grab each side of your skull and push in.
I want to grab your ears and fucking knee you right in the forehead until you're out, until you're gone.
I want to fucking take your tongue out of your mouth and fucking hack through it with a rusty butcher knife, so you can never utter that fucking phrase again.
I'm gonna make the Metal Gear Solid 5 voice parasite that specifically targets those words. And like anyone that survives it, it's gonna be like you and I are gonna be like fucking like Kaz and Big Boss, like blowing them up with the fucking shotgun. Like taking their fucking head off with like the mare's leg. Shit, what was I gonna say? Going back a little bit to the internet shorthand thing. Like, yeah, it made sense for its like origins because, you know, you have to fucking keep pressing like buttons to get what you wanted out. But there was no excuse for when it like transferred to the internet, like on a computer. You have a fucking keyboard and people are still typing shit out like that. I'm so glad it died. Like, you don't really see that nowadays. More people are more interested in like typing things in perfect grammar than like not.
Because if you spell something wrong, you just get called out for it.
Yeah, which, I mean, it is funny. But I think there is some precedence to it. Because if you're, like, fucking up words, especially if you're still one of the few troglodytes that doesn't understand the different, like, twos or yours, like, you gotta go back to school. Like, you gotta fucking repeat, like, elementary school.
Getting fucking deja vu here. What did I just watch where someone was talking about that?
It's like a
Like
YouTube
people
video.
people who can't differentiate like the yours or theirs. What the fuck was I watching?
Then, like, there they are.
He had something really dumb to say about it too, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was.
Like, fucking corpse killer moment. Evil people. You know, the funny thing is, I think on the second bender we uploaded, I definitely mentioned this at some point on like one of the first benders. I think I brought up how so many YouTube comments are just exact fucking replicas of one another because every single retard on the internet is like a clout chaser that just wants attention.
They're all trying to get likes.
So
edit. Wow, I can't believe this got so many likes.
like,
Thank you.
You'll notice this now if you haven't already, but 9 out of 10 comments begin with the phrase "I like" or "I love," and it's bad. And
I think the most horrible thing I've seen recently in comments is the amount of people who reply to every single comment on a video and say like my videos are better than like the uploaders.
Yeah, I've seen those. It's like a stupid fucking bait and switch tactic to get views on their like dumb channel.
Fucking foul.
But I think the real losers are the people that use like their dead relatives and like their memory as a fucking clout chasing method. If you have to talk about how like this like song or this video or something reminds you about like your dead dad or something just so you can get likes, like you're a despicable fucking person. And you deserve to be just as dead as your fucking dad. I will say that out loud to the world. You are a horrible person.
Top 15 ways to use dead relatives.
To
Number
chase
15,
Clout online.
Chasing Clout on YouTube comment sections.
And you know,
Number 1, getting Reddit gold.
And you know, it's not even like there's any benefit to it. Like, I can understand if you were, you know, like a clout chaser on something like, this kind of like a specific example, like on Steam, let's say. Let's say you were like a Steam reviewer, like chasing clout. It makes sense because you can actually get like rewards. And, you know, this gives you like Steam points to buy shit. And I'm pretty sure Reddit does something similar.
Yeah, if you do it on Reddit, you could get Reddit karma.
Yeah, and since I've never made a Reddit account in my life, I don't know if that's like spendable.
I have no idea what it does either. It's just like a fucking clout number on your profile.
But don't you like have to pay to send it?
I have no idea. I don't use Reddit because I'm not a fucking.
Yeah, I think I need to look this up. So yeah, Reddit is like that is the fucking hive of scum and villainy. Let's see, does it cost money?
Never
to
see a
send?
more wretched den of scum and villainy.
Let's see, does it cost money? Let's see. Okay, apparently it does cost real money. They've used to buy a number of different awards.
Who the fuck would pay money for that?
You could buy 500 coins for $2. I don't even know. Or you could subscribe to a Reddit premium and get like money. And it gets rid of ads. Crazy. It's not like that hasn't been solved for like the last 8 years. It's not like you can't do that
for free.
Do that for free in so many different ways. And the saddest part too is, from what I've heard, and honestly from what I've seen, the latest generations are fucking technologically illiterate beyond comprehension. Which is insane, because that's like all they do. Like they've had like, phones and computers in their hands like even earlier than we did. And they're like worse than all of us combined. They don't know about ad blockers. They don't know about anything.
Granted, the latest generations are also fucking like young.
Yes.
You're taking that term like literally, like the youngest generations. Like,
I guess so.
Like fucking toddlers.
I guess let me say specifically like, the fuck like Gen Z. They like don't know what they're doing. They're really like watching YouTube like completely fucking raw with no like ad blocker on their computers.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Watching YouTube on light mode with no ads.
Ugh.
With no ad blocker. Probably completely cluttered like desktop.
So foul. They have icons turned on for that desktop.
Ooh.
And they have their taskbar like permanently on screen.
Sad. I guess it doesn't matter, because when you look at those generations, they're specifically stuck like watching TikTok, which is definitely like sickening.
Fucking brain rot.
Yeah, 'cause have you ever watched like Facebook videos?
Yes.
Have you ever gotten caught in the cycle where you actually like started watching like a couple of like the ones that come after whatever you're watching?
Sometimes.
Like that's TikTok times 10. Like it's already just like an evil concept where you get stuck watching videos that like you can't really like interact with. You can pause them. You can't like go back really. I think some of them you can, but like most of them you can't. And even worse,
undoubtedly, like the worst thing about TikTok is just the fact that like its whole purpose is to have like the shortest fucking videos possible.
Yes.
So it's just ruining fucking people's attention spans. That's why you see all this dumb shit. Like at least in like the groups that we're in, it's posted as like a joke when you have like
it's like the fucking, worst of it's
like
posted.
Video games underneath the video to like
yeah.
Like that's an actual thing on TikTok. So that way people like have their attention on the video. Like if that's not there, people will fucking just swipe on the video, go to the next one.
Like human nature is being like it's being like explored efficiently. It's like a scary,
fucking disgusting.
It is a scary prospect that like regular people are finding out how to manipulate, like social engineer the human mind.
It's just crazy how quickly like people's attention spans are fucking falling apart, specifically because of TikTok.
Yeah.
I can say I'm glad that I never fucking actually used TikTok.
I have not either. It's just, I've seen people that watch it. I can't bring myself to do the same.
The only people that I know that use TikTok are fucking white women.
And children.
I don't know any children.
I have seen like...
I don't know what you're doing.
I have like younger relatives, and I see them fucking watch it. Or rather, I hear them watch it, because I'm not like peeking over their shoulder to find out myself. But yeah, that's just... That is a real awful format. And there's like nothing you can do to really fix that. It's a fucking drug with no end. And then, of course, that obviously it'll start to match, your interests. So you're just stuck watching like the same shit over and over. And if there's one theme that I find even more despicable, it's how every without fail, single woman on TikTok has to like do a little dance while she points at text on the screen.
Ah.
Like, I don't think there's a more repeated action on Earth than that. Every fucking woman.
Mad.
Or how about like effeminate men that do it too?
About is make it. Oh my god. I'm about to like walk away.
First bender that's like prematurely closed. That's a whole new type of bender, one that brings up like feelings of primordial disgust.
Making me so damn mad, motherfucker. There's this one fucking like TikTok thing that I've seen, because like the videos get posted to Facebook, and it's like this fucking like I don't even know how to describe this guy. He's just such a fucking bitch, and like his videos are all like how to do like these homemade remedies, and like some of them are interesting because he's like making actual like fucking like seasonings or whatever, but like the way the dude moves on camera, like, he's always like ungulating the entire time, like toward and away from the camera, and it's just fucking sickening to watch. But it's just like stupid bullshit that these people have to do to keep people's attention.
Yes.
And like the way this guy specifically does it is by just moving around the entire fucking time. And it makes me want to reach through the fucking screen and pull his eyeballs out.
You know, when the US inevitably hits like Great Depression Part 2, you think we're going to start to see like what's happening in like China and Asia? There's going to be like a bunch of fucking women sitting under overpasses. Just like
in rich areas to
like,
get more views.
Like scumming the fucking rich view.
Well, the thing is, America has guns, so when we hit economic fucking hardship and the country collapses, there's gonna be blood in the streets. And if I ever see those fucking people that make those videos, I'm going to hug them.
Oh man, now that's something that you may have to like censor that part out. I don't know if like like that's like a direct fucking threat practically.
I'll talk over it in post.
Also, I'm just throwing this out here right now. I'm making the thumbnail Frankenstein fighting Godzilla, I think.
You fucking bitch.
Can you think of a single better one?
Not really.
Exactly. Actually, I know what I'll do. I'll make it Frankenstein fighting Godzilla, like in the fucking alien dimension, while like Gypsy Danger comes down with a nuke. if I could make that work.
Like Iron Man comes down with the nuke.
He comes down too. I'll fit them all in. It's gonna be another like David Attenborough's Red Earth of like who's who.
While we're still on this topic of like
evil
kind of
people,
like brain rot shit, evil people, brain rot type shit, and we talked earlier about fucking like people who like just have to ask for like sauce in comments, like these fucking like porn rattled people. I saw a thing recently. I didn't watch it because I'm not a fucking loser, but I saw a video, it was fucking like YouTube short, and it was titled like Mia Khalifa talks about like being harassed by fans now that like she's been out of porn for so long. And like just reading that title was like making me mad, which like one, like it's kind of funny that she's getting harassed in the first place because she kind of deserves it.
Yes.
But like the fact that the reason people are mad at her and harassing her is because she won't get railed in front of a camera anymore. It, like that, the idea of that is so fucking despicable to me. Like, how fucking porn rattled, fucking addicted do you have to be to like get mad at someone that they won't make porn anymore?
I think it's like hard to even think about what it would take to live a life like that, because we are nowhere close to being anywhere like that, so we can't even comprehend such a lifestyle.
Like, what is such a like a leap in human brain wiring that I cannot imagine the reality that person lives in.
Yeah, I mean, I can hardly even understand the people that like ask for sauce on like every like picture. Like really, what are you gonna fucking do? You're gonna like press on that link, look at the picture, and just like what, like jerk off then and there. You're gonna like save it for later. You're gonna jerk off to a fucking static picture. Like that's even worse. I don't even know. There's just a lot of people, a lot of fucking useless souls walking around. It's almost sad to say.
Despicable, evil people.
It's almost sad to say, but even maybe the Baragon like sweat enjoyers, like even like a slightly better person overall. Because at least he brought a smidgen of joy to this world.
Yeah, you brought some entertainment, something that could make you smile.
That's the real tier list on like people. He made you smile. He put a nice big smile on your face, so he's above people that use TikTok. Because he creeped on a woman who's like probably 40 years older than him.
Yeah, that fucking like movie is like 40 years old at this point. She's probably in her like 20s, maybe even 30s at the time of filming.
Yeah, well, I mean, you heard the guy. We have to protect her
At all costs.
at all costs. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should make a thumbnail based on like the sweat guy. But
The guy who you said you wouldn't like name.
maybe like he wouldn't be in it per se, but I could make something that's like along that vein. I don't know. I got like two major options here. I'll settle on something. I always find a way. And when it comes to the thumbnails, I treat that shit like Jurassic Park. Like life finds a way.